Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So in this presentation, I am going to show what is SQL injection, okay, blind-based attack. So blind attack. In the blind, I am going to demonstrate the time-based attack. So what is blind SQL injection vulnerability? Blind SQL injection is a form of SQL injection where the application doesn't return error messages or visible data, but an attacker can infer information based on application responses. The attacker sends data payloads to the server and observes the response and behavior of the server to learn more about its structure. So it can be classified into Boolean as and time-based. So now we are going to explore the SQL injection blind. Okay, and in blind we are going to specifically explore the time-based attack. Okay, let's in a time-based SQL injection, okay, it's a type of blind SQL injection technique used to detect and exploit vulnerabilities in web application when no visible error messages are output or returned. Works by injecting SQL queries that trigger time delays in the database response based on conditional statements. Attackers can infer whether a condition is true or false based on the time taken for the server to respond. So now, in order to practice this lab, okay. So I'm going to use the burp suite. Okay. So once again, go to the portsfigure.net and go to the products category, and you can select the uh, professional edition of the burp suite, and it would ask collect your email ID and some basic information. Then you would get a email from the portsfigure. So based on the email, okay, you can log in into the portsfigure website, and in your account you can find the link to download the professional edition of the burp suite, and also you would get the access to the license key. So using this, you can use the burp suite for professional edition for 30 days. Otherwise, you can go for the community edition, but it has a lot of constraints. So if you want to explore the full potential of the burp suite tool, then you can try the professional edition this way. Okay, so now let me open the professional edition. It's just a trial version for 30 days. Okay, then go with the default temporary project in memory. Use burp suite defaults. So once you go into the burp suite, go to the proxy and you can find open browser. So if you're using the browser which is inbuilt inside the burp suite, there is no need for you to configure the proxy settings in the browser. In case you are using the external browser like Edge or Chrome, then you have to configure the proxy. So if you want to make things simple, then just go ahead with the browser which is provided by the burp suite itself. Okay, so basically now we want to explore this time-based SQL injection. So there is a lab exercise already given in the portsfigure.net portal. So just open the browser in the burp suite and navigate to the website. So this is the lab. This lab contains blind SQL injection vulnerability. The application uses a tracking cookie for analytics and performs SQL query. So it has a cookie details which we are going to. There is a vulnerability in this information. So we are going to use this vulnerability. The results of the SQL query are not returned. So basically, like in the error-based SQL injection, when the hacker send a request to the server gives some kind of response. So from that, the attacker can interpret the behavior of the web application, okay, and using that response, the attacker can perform the SQL injection. But here, the applications are not returning any kind of response, explicit response. So we have to manage the behavior of the web application based on what input, what kind of payload the attacker is injecting, what kind of response the server is making. The attacker has to find the response using the time delay factor. So that we will explore now eventually in this lab session. So the main objective of this lab is to find the username and password and the table name in the target web application using the SQL injection attack. So the steps are given, okay, the ports figure, and also there are many video resources are available. Okay, let me make things very simple to you. So I click the access the lab. So already you should have created the account with the Portsfigure website. Okay, so in case like you go to Google, okay, and Portsfigure, so you can create an account. Okay, if you don't already, I have the account. Okay, in case you don't have the account, okay, you can create an account. So now this is the lab. Okay. Um, so when you enter this lab, okay, we are going to perform the blind-based SQL injection attack. So you have to click the categories, and you can notice that the traffic is well captured by the verb suite here. So what I'm going to do is like I'm going to delete all the items. Now, I want to make clear the history. Then let me click the categories here. Okay, any category, lifestyle, something like that. And you can notice that here, okay. So basically, now this is the tracking ID. Basically, there is a vulnerability exist here in the tracking ID part. So we are going to use that to perform the SQL injection attack. So now let me go to the steps. So first, let me execute this command. Let me check whether this is vulnerable to the blind time-based SQL injection attack vulnerability. So how I am going to do, this I click this filter, category is equal to lifestyle, or either you can go to gift because I clicked two categories. So then what I'm going to do is like I click here inside the this request, then right click, send to repeater. Then I go to the repeater here. So this is the repeater. So after the tracking ID, you can see this tracking ID is ending here. So here I just paste the payload which I have copied from the ChatGPT. This is the payload, single quotes, okay, PG sleep 10. So we want to make the response delayed for 10 seconds. So just the payload, select the payload and press Ctrl U for URL encoding and just click the send. See, we are not getting the response instantly. We are getting the response after 10,153 millisecond. So that is 10 seconds. After 10 seconds, the response is coming back from the server. It implies that this web application is, this web application is vulnerable to the blind SQL injection attack based on time factor. Okay. So when this has been proven, what you can do is like, okay. Now I'm going to inject another payload, and you can notice this. Select case when username is administrator. Just I want to know whether there exists a particular user account with the name administrator. If that particular user account exists, I mean the administrator account exists, then I want the response to be delayed for 10 seconds. Else the response should be immediate. And just assume already we know the attacker already knows the table, name of the table. The name of the table is users. So I copy this and I go to the repeated part. So after the tracking ID ends, just copy, okay, and okay, paste it, replace the previous payload, then just select Control U for encoding, and I send the payload to the target server. Yeah, there is a delay of 10 seconds, that is 10,160 milliseconds. It implies that there is a username administrator exist in the target system. So there is a username administrator exist in the target system. In the database, in the users table, there is a user account administrator. So now our next focus is to find the password. Okay, before we go into the password, we have to find what is the length of the password. Okay, so let's go and select the payload. So I shall paste all the payloads in the comment section of this video. So you can see this is a payload. So we are telling the username is administrator If the username is administrator and if the length of the password is greater than 20, then sleep 10. I mean, if this two conditions are true, like if the username is administrator and the password is greater than 20, okay, then send the response after 10 seconds. Else, send the response immediately. And these, details has to be selected from the table users. So let me copy this payload and I replace the old payload which we have used to find the user account. Okay, so I just replace. Okay, and after replacing, I have to do the URL encoding. So I just select the payload and Control U. URL encoding is done. So please try to recall what we are doing is like we want to know what is the length of the password. So we are sending a payload and we are putting two conditions. If the user account is administrator and the length is greater than 20, password length is greater than 20, let the response be delayed for 10 seconds. Okay, if there is a delay in response for 10 seconds, it shows that these two conditions are true. That means there is a user account administrator and the administrator password length is greater than 20. Okay. So then after you set the payload, click send, but you can notice that the response is instant, immediately, 128 milliseconds. It implies that any one of the two conditions is not valid. Maybe the user account is not administrated or the length is not greater than 20. So let me put this. So it is telling, I know that there is a user account administrator. So I understand that the password is condition greater than 20 is not true, is not holding true. Okay. So I make this condition like if the password is greater than or equal to 20 because I know the length is 20. Okay, from the attacker's perspective, we don't know what is the exact length of the password, but based on the practice of this lab many times, I know that the length is 20. So I change the conditions. Like otherwise, what you have to do, you have to check what is the whether the length is greater than 1 or whether the length is greater than 2 or whether the length is greater than 3. Like that you have to check several times. Okay, so for example, now I put the length is greater than 1. Let me try this also. You can see, observe that the response is not coming immediately. It implies that the length of the password is greater than 1. Yes, it is greater than 1. So let me put 2 and send. It is also true. So the password is greater than 2. And similarly, we ask the question, is the password is greater than 19? Yes, the password is greater than 19. So you can observe that the response is delayed. And I'm asking the question again, is the password is greater than 20? No. So that means the password is 20. The length of the password is 20. Okay. So now let's say this is a tedious job. In case you want to automate this process, there is an option available with the burp suite. Just make it 1 here. And what you do is right click and send to intruder. Send to intruder now. So we want to automate this process. Like we want to check the length whether it is greater than 1 or greater than 2. Okay. You want to automate that process. Then just go to right click, send to intruder. We are doing this from the repeater. Then go to the intruder. You can notice that it has come to the intruder part. So click clear. Okay, dollar, this one, click clear dollar. And then just leave, go with the sniper attack, the default one. Okay, and then what you have to do is like you go and select the one, the password length, remember this one. So just let me clear and select the one and click add. Click add. You can see that the number one is preceded with the dollar symbol, and also after the number one you can see dollar symbol has been added. Okay, so once you have done that, right side, okay, so you have to set the payload numbers. So we want to check for all the numbers, like we want to find the length of the password. Okay, so the payload is going to be a number, and the start number is 1, and let's say we try until the 25, or it's up to you, even 50 if you are not sure about what would be the length of the password. Okay, and the value has to increment by one value. Then you can see this resource pool. Click the resource pool and create a new resource pool. Okay, there is a name. Okay, for example, something leave with the go with the default one, and then maximum concurrent request is 1. So make this as 1. Okay, so that's it. Then once you have done with these basic things, just click the start attack and observe the result for the length of the password. Okay, so let me pause the video. So the process is completed now. The response has come. If you observe the response, you can notice that up to the number 19, okay, the length of the password 19, there is a time delay of around 10 seconds, 10,000 milliseconds. But when the password length is 20, you can notice the response received is within 157 milliseconds. So it implies that the password is not greater than 20. However, the password is greater than 19 is true. It is telling because there is a time delay of 10 seconds. Whether the password is greater than 18, it is true. There is a time delay of 10 seconds and so on. And okay, but here you can notice that the time delay, the length of the password is greater than 20. Here there is no delay. So it implies that the password is exactly 20. It's greater than 19, but not greater than 20. So it implies that the password length is 20 exactly. Okay, so now we have found the length of the password. Now we next step is to like find the password, exact password. So let me close this, discard. Okay, and let me close the intruder here. Okay, and let me go to the repeater, close the repeater also. And I go to the proxy, and in the proxy, I'm here in the history. So once again, what I do, I delete everything because our next step is going to find the password. Okay, then again, I click the category. Okay, and you can find that web traffic has been captured by the web suite. Okay, and now um, let me send this to the repeater. So here we are in repeater. Okay. So now let me check what is the payload to find the password. So password length task is finished and we have found the length of the password is exactly 20. So now let me check what is the uh, password. So this is the payload. Select case when the username is administrator and the substring 1 comma 1. That means the first letter of the password is it A we are asking. We are telling the username is administrator and the first letter of the administrator password 1 comma 1 means the first letter. 2 comma 1 means second letter. 3 comma 1 means the third letter. Okay, so we are asking the first letter of the password is A. So if the conditions are true, like if the username is administrator and the first letter of the password is A, then there will be a time delay of 10 seconds. If there is no time delay, it implies that the first letter of the password is not A. Then you have to check with B, then you have to check with C, you have to check with D, and so on. And also you have to check the numbers 0 to 9. Okay, but it looks very tedious job, right? So let's automate this also. Okay, go to the repeater. Then let me paste the payload here. Okay, then let me select the payload and control U URL encoding. We are doing the encoding process. Then I am sending send, and you can see that 144 milliseconds. What it means? It means that the first letter of the password is not A. Okay, let me check B. Is it B? And 132 millisecond. It is also not B. So I am checking, is it E? Yeah, there is a time delay. It means the first letter of the password is E. So we have from 20 letters, now we have found the first letter. And the first letter is E. The first letter of the password is E. So I open the notepad and the first letter is E. And we have to find, okay, 19 more, okay, letters or numbers, okay. So let us automate this process. Right click, send to the intruder. So I'm in the intruder here. Okay, now here this one A. So what I'm going to do is just clear. Then I'm going to select this, add. Okay, so this A is going to be a brute forcer. It's going to be a brute forcer. This one, it should be like brute forcer. It should try all the letters and then numbers. Minimum length is 1 and the maximum length is 1. Okay, so it's a brute forcer now. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to automate this because this is for the first, the letter of the password. What about the second letter? So here also I should be automate. Okay, So make it cluster bomb attack. Okay, then this one payload position 2A. So there are two payloads needed. One is for the letter and another one is for the number. So I click here. It is 1 comma 1 and this is 2 comma A. So for 2 comma A, it's going to be brute forcer. Again, I configure because I forgot to select the cluster bomb attack. Cluster means more than one attack you have to do. So 2 comma A is a brute forcer for the password characters, brute forcer. It all the alphabets and the numbers. Then just click the uh, position of the letter. So that is payload position 1 comma 1. It is not a brute forcer, it is just a number and it is sequential. Starting is 1 and we know the exact length of the password, it's 20. Okay, that's fine. Then the resource pool, already we created the default one, go with the custom one. Concurrent request, let it be 1. So payload, everything is properly configured. Then just go ahead with the attack. So you can see like 8 of 720, it would take a lot of time to figure out the passwords. So let me pause the video. So now you can see the um, attack has been completed and now we found the password. And the first letter, you can see the payload position 1 is E and 10th position is F and 17th position is D, 12th position is um, O and 7. Okay, then Y, E, A and so on. Okay, 8. So we found all the letters for each and every position of the password using the verb suit, and it is based on the blind attack based on the time factor. You can see whenever the condition is true, there is a time delay of around 10 seconds, 10,000 milliseconds. Okay.